Hey, good morning to you. Welcome back to Morning Live. Before we get into our cricket interview, we did, of course, put out a question of the day to you, wanting to know what your message of support is for the Proteas ahead of the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup final against India at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Siabulele saying the time is now, nothing to stop our momentum. Bring it home, boys. Don't worry about their decorated past. The future is ours. Thank you so much for that message, Siabulele. Was saying good morning, Vusiwe and family. A good morning to you too. You've got this, Proteas. I wish you the best of luck. You are strong, capable and resilient, and I know that you have what it takes to overcome any obstacles that come your way. Bring it home. Hashtag Morning Live, hashtag SABC News, hashtag T20 World Cup. A lot of hashtags there coming in from Khabuniwe. And Buhle here saying good morning, Bahlali. Good morning to you, Buhle. Good luck to the boys, and I know they will bring the trophy home. They've been using the Triple D, determination, dedication and discipline throughout the tournament. This win is not only important for SA but also for Africa as a whole for cricket. Thank you so much for those messages. You can continue to send us your messages as well, including your voice notes. But as you know, South Africa, two unbeaten teams in the T20 World Cup final. South Africa and India will battle it out for the honor of being called world champions out in Bridgetown, Barbados on Saturday, which is tomorrow, with the match starting at 4:30 South African time. Now, to review this encounter for us, I am joined in studio by Ayavuya, Myoli, former Lions bowler. But you are tall like a bowler, and I can see it because, my goodness, your height. And joining us virtually, we do have Khanyiso Tshwaku, who is a senior sports journalist out at News 24. Let me start with you, Aya, because we look at our semi-final clash against Afghanistan. Once again, the pitch conditions coming under scrutiny and being criticized. But at the end of the day, both teams play in the same strip. What do you make of what our bowlers were able to do in that encounter? Not just that one, but how they've done overall in this World Cup.
Thanks, Fusiwe. Yeah, man, the boys have been doing well. I think the bowlers have been leading the attack. I think they've shown that what we have. South Africa's got a rich history of fast bowlers. From the times of Alan Donald, you go through Del Steyn and those guys. And the boys have been leading the attack for the country. So I feel like they've been aggressive. I think what they did against Afghanistan, that was good, was attacking and just being aggressive. I think that's how South African cricket bowlers are known for, that aggression, those quick and tall bowlers. So I think we've shown that, and I think that's one of our stuff that we're proud of. So I think they should just keep it up and just keep on being aggressive against India in the final and just bowling.
Indeed, and we are going to need that bowling attack to be absolutely on point tomorrow afternoon. Khanyiso, let me bring you into the conversation. We face India tomorrow. They've been playing some good cricket throughout this entire tournament, but the weight of expectation is a heavy one on them, especially when one considers that a big chunk of 1 billion people expect nothing but victory from this Indian side. So much so that they were confirmed as the semi-finalists for semi-final 2 long before the tournament even started, just because of that viewership coming in from India. Talk to me about that weight of expectation for this Indian side and how well they've done coming to this final. Okay, it seems like we have lost to Khanyiso there. Perhaps I'll put the question to you then, Aya, because we look at that weight of expectation on this Indian side. Millions of people in India, I mean, probably the biggest viewership in the world when it comes to cricket.
Yeah, India, the cricket comes first in India. You think 1 billion people are watching the game from India, and like the likes of like the IPL, how the crowds get filled up. So India is like, just look at the likes of Sachin Tendulkar. He was treated like a god there in India. So they're definitely expecting a win from the Indian guys, and the guys really know that. And India has invested a lot of cricket in the IPL, a lot of money that's been used. So they've done a lot of investments in the IPL and wanting to produce results. And they've come a lot of youngsters that are coming and playing also now in the Indian team that are doing well. So I think it's expected for them to win. I think the love of cricket in India, it's big.
And the Indians won't want to have heartbreak 2 times in a row, because we know what happened in the final last year when they lost out to Australia. But we do have Khanyiso back on the line now. Khanyiso, talk to me about tomorrow's final and how you see it playing out when 2 teams that have been unbeaten so far in this tournament go head to head.
I think South Africa carries the least baggage because they haven't been expected to get to final, and they're there. And India were expected to get to a final, and they're in the final, and they haven't won an ICC event in now 11 years. So they come into the game bearing more pressure. I mean, it's pretty much comparable to the kind of pressure they felt when they played Australia in last year's World Cup final, or 5 games they lost. So they've got a lot to prove. Because I mean, T20 cricket is what it is now because of India's success here in South Africa in 2007. But they haven't won the tournament since. I mean, they were finalists in 2014 in Bangladesh when they lost to Sri Lanka. But they haven't actually put down their proper marker in the tournament itself globally. Even though they have been semi-finalists, now they've always found a way to trip up. Now they've been able to get to a final unblemished. Yes, there was a rained-out game, but they've got to the final unblemished. The same way that South Africa have. But you may look at South Africa's path, and you realize that South Africa's path has been harder. They haven't had a perfect game, and one hopes that South Africa most probably would love to have their perfect game tomorrow in Barbados.
Indeed, and Khanyiso, as we are running out of time, I do want to put this question to you because South Africans will always support the national team. But what will this victory mean for transformation with the Proteas? Because this is one of the most untransformed teams that have taken to a major tournament. Do you trust the sport to have a transformed team by 2027 if we go into this final and win tomorrow?
Look, they have to. It's a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. I mean, we've discussed at length what the issue, what the base layer issues were at franchise, at provincial level, and at SA20 level that led to not having a black player, as many black African players possible. But between now, which is June 2024 and October 2027, there should be enough time to have invested in the structures and to put in plans in place to ensure that there is far better black African representation in the men's national team.
Khanyiso, unfortunately, we have run out of time, but thank you so much for joining us this morning. Aya, it was lovely having you. Hopefully, we'll chat to you some more moving forward in cricket.
Thank you very much.
I am Myoli, former Lions bowler, the man with a lot of height, as well as Khanyiso Tshwaku joining us on the line. Of course, he is a News 24 senior sports journalist. That's where we'll wrap up your sport news in this hour.